Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another Star vs. the Forces of Evil episode. In this episode, we're taking a look at episodes 37 and 38, Divide and Conquer. This is a 45, I know they call it an hour-long special, but it's like 45 minutes, season finale. This came up fast. I did not expect us to have a season finale for a while, because I felt like the second season went on a really long time, so I was kind of expecting the same thing here, but it feels like it's only been like a year and we're already done with the season? Less than a year even? So wow, it's weird to go through one of these shows that has like an actual constant release schedule that is able to finish up in about a year. The other thing is, I remember back in like Is Another Mystery or Ludo Where Art Thou, I remember saying, oh, from here on out, the next like bunch of episodes are going to be filler, right? I said that at one point. And here we are at the season finale. There was filler in there, don't get me wrong. But honestly, it was not that bad. I'm amazed at how much progress they actually made towards getting here. They wasted very little time. I was actually glad to be wrong about there not being filler. So let's get into it. It starts off, so Eclipsa's telling Star about what happened with Meteora, and Star has Eclipsa arrested or placed on basically house arrest because she's now acting queen. Everyone keeps calling her queen. She doesn't want to be queen, but acting queen because she wants her mom to be back. And she's stressed about being queen. I get it. That makes sense. So she goes to an assemblage of all of her greatest knights and the High Magic Commission, and she's rightfully mad at the High Magic Commission. Well, after this, I don't put a rest to it. I mean, they're powerful beings after all. And she kicks them out, and she's asking her knights what to do. She talks about Mina Loveberry, and Meteora just easily defeated Mina Loveberry. So what was her point in involvement in this plot? Because they set her up at Monster Bash, and she's just a throwaway gag in this episode. There's a few things like that. So they have no idea what to do. Star goes back to her room and asks Glossaric what to do, right? And is annoyed that none of the guards can think for themselves, and that she's surprised at how much her mom actually did. And again, she's still the princess. She was going to be acting queen one day, or well, actual queen. You know what I mean. And then the Knight of the Wash comes in with Star's clothes, and he's the one guy in the castle who seems to be able to think for himself. And I was like, neat. They actually Chekhov's gun this. They set him up very early on, and I mean, they reminded of him once or twice here, and now he's actually coming up in the end to pay off. Nope, they just throw him out the window. I mean, they don't actually throw him out the window, but you know what I mean. Just like within like 30 seconds. So his involvement on the plot is just another throwaway gag like Mina Loveberry's. There's a few like that. And then Star and Marco have a fight because Marco wants to prove himself. And wow, they're actually addressing that one running with scissors. I never thought the show would do it. I mean, it's made a throwaway gag here or there, but how Marco's actually a trained combat and him and Star have a fight. It's not a bad fight. I think it's choreographed well. I think everything about it works. But it gets to the heart of the problem with this episode. What's its purpose? Why did they have this fight scene? It was not needed. I mean, it's a cool fight scene, and it is Star's testing Marco to see how much our characters have grown, but it really had no purpose. And I'll keep saying that. So, and then there's this whole throwaway gag about what to make for dinner, and okay, corn and a jello, but they decide to divide and conquer. Marco's gonna go make a team and fight Meteora, while Star's going to go find her mom from the magic dimension, because as Eclipsa put it, Moon was almost able to defeat Eclipsa. So Marco puts together his Magnificent Seven: Hekapoo, the eagle guy, Kelly, her monster friend, and Tom and Ponyhead. It's not a bad crew, actually. This is one of the things I do like, is that while on top of building up for like half the season now, right? Ever since Monster Bash. This, Marco's whole plot has been building up basically since the last season. These are a lot of characters we've seen Marco hang out with in some way or another. So this actually makes sense. It's a logical progression with his character. And we get a few funny jokes here and there. I don't really care for the Eagle guy, but I like his Little League joke. That was pretty funny. It's a weird progression of his character, as throwaway as he may be as a character. I don't know, I liked it. And Marco has this plan to make a Doom Nut or something. And we see him and Tom. And one of the interesting things is they actually have like really good chemistry. I know, okay, they're friends. But if you told me this episode launched 1,000 ships, I would not be surprised. Because it's just, I don't know, it's weird, but they play off of each other really well. And I get it, friends and all that jazz. I can't say that. That'll piss too many people off. So they start enacting their plan to get her, and hey, Marco's wearing a dress because why not? I mean, it actually kind of makes sense. And then we cut to see Star. She goes through the magical world. She's traveling around, and remember, the realm of magic messes with your mind, and it makes you forget your memory because it's trying to hypnotize you. And I still feel like there's like this darker like idea behind the realm of magic, but we don't really know what it is. But she eventually finds her mom. Okay, that's nice. It's so much hair. But we cut back to Marco, and they eventually find Eclipsa, and they try to use their Doom Nut? Something like that. It's a donut joke. And it fails because Eclipsa easily brushes it off. And then Ponyhead gets her soul sucked along with a few other, like their, the dragon cycles and a few other things. Which, okay, their plan failed, but didn't they kind of know it was going to be fail? They act like, oh, in the next episode, they'll act like, oh, we were supposed to take out Eclipsa. And it's like, no, you were just to stall time. And he basically does it. And then we cut back to Star to end off the episode saying she's been entranced by the world of magic. And I mean, this builds up. There's a few scenes I'm skipping over. But yeah, they both failed at the end of Divide. Okay. It's an interesting theme, right? We're spending the first half of the episode with them failure, right? That's how it's ending. That, oh, things are not going well. And hey, I got a quote for the box. Star versus the forces of evil equivalent of The Last Jedi. Take that however you will, whether or not you like The Last Jedi. Because much like The Last Jedi, there's a main theme of failure and a shit ton of filler. Because it's a waste of your goddamn time. Because here's one of my things. They wanted to make a grand epic season finale. So they asked for so they were given 45 minutes to do it, right? They had all this time. They had this big grand idea. But then when it came to actually making the episode, they did not have enough of a story to fill out 45 minutes. Like this entire two-parter could have been done in 20 minutes with little to no problem. I fully think that. Because a lot of, okay, we spend a lot of time with Star in the realm of magic. Oh, we spend a lot of time with Marco just getting ready with his army. His first plan failing. Right? There's so much Star just hanging out in the realm of magic at the beginning of the next episode. There's so many things that could have been cut or trimmed down. They didn't need 45 minutes to do this. It's wasting your time. Now, that doesn't mean it's the worst thing ever. I mean, it's still some enjoyable stuff, and it didn't really bother me like The Last Jedi until the second time I saw it. And maybe much like The Last Jedi, on subsequent viewings, I'll appreciate the filler more. But yeah, like I said, Star's in the realm of magic. They find these waterfalls, and we get a few jokes, but it basically leads them to other dimensions because the realm of magic pops up everywhere else, and we see the magic sanctuary, which that actually makes a lot of sense. Back at Marco's group, they want to run away, but Marco's like, no, Marco and Tom, no, we can't do that. Marco's plan may not have worked. But he'll think of another plan that won't work because, as they forgot, they think they're going to take out Meteora when their goal was just to stall. I mean, this was one of those missions set up for failure kind of things. And I feel like Marco didn't tell them that, and he kind of forgot about it himself. But he makes a plan to trap Eclipsa by, like, covering up her eyes, because basically she shoots lasers out of her eyes. And it actually kind of works for a few seconds until they push her off a cliff on accident, and Tom traps her in a hole in the underworld. So it looks like they defeated her. We cut back to Star, and they're running from the unicorn. Okay, you remember that? And Moon disappears, and then the unicorn makes Star disappear, but before that tells her, you shouldn't be here. Why? Am I forgetting something? Okay, it's a plot point, whatever. Maybe this has to do with the whole family lineage thing, that she's not worthy anymore. But we cut back to the Marco's group, and we see Tad gets blasted by Eclipse, so whatever. And then Hekapoo gets her soul sucked, Kelly gets her soul sucked, and then Marco admits to Tom that he kissed Star. Marco goes in to sacrifice himself, but instead Tom takes the brunt of the force, which I do actually like how they, in this moment, they handle the kiss. Because I was expecting them to address it later on and them to have like a big fight and it just to be really fucking annoying. But here, Marco admits it, and it kind of blows over fine. I mean, they're in the heat of the battle, so maybe they'll probably address it and there may be a big blowout later on down the line, but here in the moment, I think they actually did a good job at addressing it. And then we find out that Tom has like thousands of souls inside of him, so Meteora can't just suck his one soul, but she sucks a bunch of them and that makes her stronger. And then Marco gets his soul sucked. That sucks. We cut back to Star to see she's back in the human world, and the king's like, oh, you found her, but she's still missing, which I wonder about that. I'm curious to see where they're going to take that next season, because she doesn't come back for the rest of this. And then we see Meteora, I keep saying Eclipse when I mean to say Meteora, goddammit, fighting the king and his eagles, which, honestly, it reminds me a lot of a traditional, like, monster movie with, the, like, Godzilla fighting the aircrafts. It's kind of like that. But then Tom shows up with Marco's floating soulless body, and Star decides that she's going to take him to the sanctuary. Right? I mean, we just saw it earlier in the episode. We saw, because that's what revived the High Magic Commission's souls back at the beginning of the season. So it makes sense, but she can't get into the sanctuary because, again, I feel like they're clearly leaning towards that now that everyone knows they're not related, she no longer has, like, queen powers. At least that's what I feel like they're doing. But Tom decides that, if they're going to survive this, they need to retreat to the underworld, right? They can hide out there. And Star sees a bunch of floating corpses and decides no. She's going to fight for her people and asks Tom to keep Marco safe. She flies back to the castle in her butterfly form, runs into Meteora, who also, because Marco and Tom follow, and Meteora captures Marco and beats up Tom because it's easier than sucking his soul. Star and Meteora fight, and it's actually a pretty, much like the fight between Marco and Star, it's also a well-choreographed fight. I think it's really good. This is the heart of the episode. This is what I'm interested in. And it's like the last, 5 minutes of the episode again. I know it may have seemed a little rushed, but they probably could have done this in maybe 30 minutes. Maybe, reasonably paced, but giving them 45 is just a little too much. Just a smidgen. But, Meteora, right, she wants the throne, she wants to destroy the throne, because she blames Star's family, but it was the High Magic Commission that did it, and Star, in a weird way, kind of agrees that her family's at fault, and we'll get back to that. But she gives up her magic to Meteora, and it kind of throws her off for a moment. And that's a big sacrifice, giving up your entire magic. I mean, she does try to use the narwhal blast after, like, she gives it up, and we don't see whether or not it worked. So I'm assuming this is going to be a big plot point in the next season. It's interesting. But then Eclipsa shows up, takes the wand, starts fighting Meteora, and Meteora's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm not using those words, obviously. Disney show. And Eclipsa's like, no, this isn't our throne anymore. You need to stop this. And Eclipsa kills Meteora. Holy shit, that was awesome. It's well handled. It makes sense. It's been building up, right, for a while now. And holy shit, is that good. Like, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, it's a great character building moment. It really shows why I love Eclipsa. Okay, so Marco gets unballoonified, everything's happy, right? Of course, Eclipsa's daughter, she just killed her own daughter. And Star gives her the wand. And it's like, no, it's yours. Our family has done too much damage. Again, I don't think so. I mean, Moon and Star did take out the immortal monsters that were threatening to destroy the entire kingdom. So take that however you will. But I don't know. I feel like Star's playing a little too much of the victim here in this moment. And then it's revealed that they did the tried and true thing where Meteora isn't dead, but instead turned back into a baby. This makes sense, actually. Eclipse, Star was willing to sacrifice her magic, right? And, I mean, she also basically gave up the throne. And Meteora was willing to kill her daughter to save the kingdom. So the fact that the daughter, Meteora, or you know what I mean, names. The fact that Meteora is still alive, and that basically Eclipsa gets another chance to raise her, makes sense. I actually think this is not a bad idea. And the way, at first they handle it's like, yeah, no, this is deserved. She earned it, right? She earned the chance to raise her daughter. Then their reactions are like, what? Wait, what just happened? What did we do? And then we get to Glossaric. So the entire season, ever since they brought him back, which I'm still against, and he's been saying Glubgore. Glossaric reveals in this moment that he's actually been perfectly fine the entire time, but for some stupid fucking reason, he's been acting like a dog. And he's been saying Glubgore because that's the name of Eclipsa's monster love. His name is Glubgore. They've been building it up the entire season, and you know my thoughts? Honestly, I don't want to lie to you guys. I want to give my honest thoughts here. I fucking hate this twist. This is one of the, oh my god, fuck this. I get what they're trying to do. I get it. Okay, they're building it up again for Eclipsa to be evil. But you just spent a majority of this episode, a majority of the season, all building up that, no, Eclipsa isn't a bad person. And in one scene with Glossaric, which, god, fuck Glossaric, I hate him now so much because of this. It's, oh, nope, she's evil, she was just playing the long game, or at least that's one of the ways you can interpret it. This is very vague. And I hated this the first time I saw it, and I still kind of do. Because that's what they're leaning towards, even though it is vague. Because we see Eclipsa show up to her monster husband, and it's like, I'm home, my love. Okay. And it's clearly building this up as she was evil. Or, that, yeah, she was playing the long game. But the entire scene leading up to that, no, it didn't feel like this. The scene where she gets her daughter back, like, she willingly thought she was dead. And then it comes back, Meteora is still alive, and it's like, oh, she's genuinely happy. I don't think she knew that defeating Meteora would turn her into a baby. Or at least, if she did, they did not structure this scene well to show it. They have not said, and this one line from Glossaric is supposed to explain, like, oh, Eclipse is going to be evil again, or whatever. And I felt like if that's what they're going for, this is a horrible execution. And building up Glossaric this entire time is horrible. I remember in the comments, when, again, because I'm still on the anti-evil Eclipse train, Even still, and I'll get to that here in a second, someone in the comments was like, the reason they brought Glossric back and the reason they, for all extensive purposes, crippled him for the time being was because he knew something about Meteora or about Eclipsa that he wasn't saying. And yeah, he basically did, but that, I still just do not feel like this was earned. It just, oh my god, it's such a slap in the face against everything this episode does. It kind of reminds me of something from The Last Jedi that was built up in The Force Awakens and then was just kind of killed off. So, Eclipsa being evil. This is the last thing we'll address. They leave the scene open-ended where, yes, Glubgor could be evil. This could totally go that way. But it also may not. Eclipsa may be a good person still. Glubgor may be a good person. I mean, again, much like the argument I use for Eclipsa, where they could be a good person, but they only know how to get things done in an evil way. I could totally see that happening here as well. But I don't want her to be evil. There was so much good character development. She earned what she got. And I don't feel like they should now say, oh, she's evil, and basically betray a majority of what this season has been working towards. But we'll see. My hope is that the next season, much like how this season started off with Battle for Muni and the whole Toffee thing, the next season will start off with Glubgor, and then we'll get a few episodes, but it will eventually end with the reveal, with them basically getting along and Star getting back her magic or getting the throne, Moon being fine, and Glubgor, again, my hopes anyways, is that he's not the villain. He just only knows how to get things done in an evil way, and Eclipsa gets her happy family, and because she doesn't want to rule the throne, just love her monster love, she basically gives the throne back to Moon or whatever. And then from there, where do you go? Do you have another villain? Do you want to be a complex show that shows off the geopolitical climate of ruling a kingdom and have no one specific villain? I think that's possible. Do you introduce a brand new villain? I mean, maybe? Maybe you could totally do that. Or do they go back to Ludo? I could totally see them doing that as well, honestly. Or they'll just make Eclipsa the villain again. Or just finally, because, God, do I not want that? But it's where it's leading, and I'm going to be so disappointed in this show. God damn it. I hope the fourth season is the final season. You know, the old saying, you either end like Breaking Bad or live long enough to see yourself become Dexter. I hope the fourth season is the final season and this show doesn't become Dexter. I really do. I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.